What's happening, folks, and welcome to a mid-season summary report episode from Glory in Paradise. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more daily Let's Play content. Sundays are my day off, just to give myself a pause and give you guys a chance to catch up on the series as well. And it gives me a chance when I'm not working on those days to get episodes recorded, and because my work is very erratic. I 2 or 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks, I had no hours now. Obviously, the hours are increasing a bit more. But we'll see. They might go down again very soon, but we shall see on that. So, yeah, we're going to go through how the season's going, look at the players, look at the budgets, and give you guys thoughts on, give you a chance to give a catch up on the series, but also give you thoughts on how we're doing. So, as you can see in the League One, we're actually doing quite well. We're only 5 points behind PSG in the title race. The problem is they are so far ahead of us in terms of performance that we're going to struggle to keep up with them, honestly. But what we are starting to do more often than not is win the games outside of their PSG matches. So we've only lost 3 games this year, 1 to PSG, 1 to Lille, which is not this great, then Rennes. So we're losing to the teams that are around us, but these teams, like from 7th down, we're regularly beating them, which is what we need to start doing really as the first step in what we're trying to do here, is make Monaco like, okay, we're going to be second minimum every season. Top 3, obviously, is what we're really after every year to make sure we get a really good Champions League money coming in. And then we start building from there. The problem, obviously, is, big clubs want our players, but hopefully we're challenging for the League One title and getting into the Champions League knockout stage, which is what I think that's the realistic thing about this build I want to try and do in the limited time we've got left on FM24, is to try and at least get League One won. I don't think we're going to get Champions League win, though I could be wrong, depends how good our youth intake is. But we're doing well in the league. The Champions League, we're doing exceedingly well in it. We're actually doing better than I thought. I looked at it and thought, top 24 is minimum what I think is maximum what I think we can realistically achieve. But it looks like we may squeeze into 8th. Top 8, which I still think is a bit of a long shot. We've got to play Leipzig and we've got Shakhtar next. Now, Leipzig have not been great. Shakhtar have only got 1 point. It shows you how weird this Champions League format is. So Shakhtar are 24th. We need a point in our final 2 games to guarantee a playoff spot. Because we've got 13 points. As you can see, there's maximum 6 points left available. Now, of course, there could be a scenario, I'm not worked out just too many games to work it out with, that we could lose our game against Leipzig and still qualify in top 24. I will take it. Getting top 24 will be fantastic. I'm not sure what the class is competitive in this competition. So let's see if it tells us on here what they expect. So they're not really saying here. They say we each have to be proper. We passed that. Well, we did that already because we've already done it. Anyway, I think being competitive would be getting through this phase. I think surely they'd be pleased with that. We're 55% there according to that. I think if we get through league phase, in whatever position we're in, surely that qualifies being competitive, right? I'd be very stunned if we're not. And we have beaten Tottenham and got a draw against Bayern Munich. So I would say that's going to be competitive and only lost 1-0 to AC Milan. So I'd argue we've achieved this already in terms of being competitive. We've not been battered by anybody. Lost 1-0 to AC Milan away from home. That's not terrible. We sure lost to Bayern Munich, but again, it was we didn't. We got the draw, and we won all the other games. And this is what's really helped us. Those wins against Rangers and Anderlecht start, and Copenhagen are what gave us opportunity. And that's what I thought when I saw the fixtures. I thought that is a good fixture list. It gives us half a chance. And luckily we've managed to get the wins in those games. To have any chance of getting top 24, I needed to win the Rangers. I needed to win, in my opinion, Rangers, Anderlecht, and probably Copenhagen. At least get a draw and 2 wins from those 3 games, and we've got 3 wins out of those 3 wins. The Spurs game was a massive added bonus. That was the game that made me think that we're going to get top 24 now, because beating Spurs with from home 3-1 is actually a really good result. So we should get through top 24, and it's more money in our Champions League coppers. The finances are not in the red, but they're okay. We're still good for FFP. We're still, well in there for that, which is great. We have got some money to spend in January if I want to, but very little. I've adjusted the wage budget slightly. There's nothing really to talk about in terms of sales. I'm trying to sell this guy, Marquez. I've got a bid in for him for, how much is it? This is really weird, like 1.5 million. I want more, but I just want to get him out the door. I'm not going to use him, so we're going to move him out. So this is a situation we're looking at. The debt at the football club is, transfer debt is 6 million. The debt that's there was, it's not terrible. But I don't know what kind of ownership we have. In fact, while we're here and talking about this, I'm going to look at FM24. I'm going to look at what we have in terms of an ownership. What do we have? I think I checked this before, but I've forgotten, and it's been a while since I did this. So let's have a look what we have. So it's not the main one we want. Let's have a look. I'm looking on the screen right now, because you can't see it on the screen, but I'm looking at it now. Is it underwriter we have? So we've got underwriter expects return. So we'll just clarify what that means, in case you're not aware. Underwriter, similar to underwriter, but expects money back. So underwriter won't give you extra to budget. But coming in the season, they will cover any losses the club's making and not expect money back. But he wants his money back. So we could do actually with these guys selling up at some point and getting a big. I don't know if it's even a thing that can happen in a Monaco save where they sell the club. They don't want. There's no sign of doing right now. The club and So I'd like them to move on and get somebody in who's going to do a PSG for us. But I think that's unrealistic. It's one of the things I've always wanted to happen on my FM saves. I've never had a single save where we've had a ownership come in and in the save, we keep our job, and it's a tycoon and it's a massive amount of money, it changes the reflection. I'd love that to happen. I could make it happen, obviously. I could make an artificial save and story that has that narrative in it, but I think it would lose its appeal. I think it'd be like, oh yeah, but he's just making the game easy for himself. I would rather have it naturally in the save. Like, oh wow, we've got to take over. Oh wow, we've got a rich benefactor who's pumping money into the football club, and we can then, go nuts. But yeah, so that's what's going on here. French Cup, don't really care about it right now. The team we've got is basically a national team club, so that's the next game we're going to play. It's going to be off camera. It should be a win. But the cup draw will be what it is. We'll run up in the Trophy of Champions. Lost 3-1. Will be outclassed. Depends what you define as outclassed. I don't think 3-1 isn't necessarily that, but it was a comfortable win. But I don't know. In terms of our squad this season, we've got our striker scoring. Balogun is scoring goals. The issue is the wide players are not scoring anything. We look at our wingers, and you've got Minamino here, who's got Minamino's got 4 goals. Campos has got 5. Govan's got 9, but he's also got 3 assists. So it feels like we're comfortable winning games, but I think we need to get more goals into the team. Honestly, we need to find a way of getting these guys scoring more goals. And maybe we add more quality to the team and go from there. But you look at our fixtures, it's mainly because we're defensively solid. We don't concede more than 1 goal a game, and very rarely we do that. Obviously, we've done that recently in the last couple of games, which is very annoying. But overall, defensively, we're relatively solid. Other than when we play against PSG when they knock a lot of goals in, we've been quite okay. And even against PSG, they lost 1-0 to them. It's a very narrow defeat. So we need to find more goals elsewhere. And I think the biggest problem we have is the striker. A striker is a problem that we have because Ben Yedder is the wrong side of 30. He has no pace anymore. So I think it could be a case of moving him on. And I'm looking at strikers, but there's never been anybody really that makes sense for us to go and get. At least not right now, anyway. And most of the people that are there. They're not really players that I'm overly keen to go for. I mean, look at the scout reports; they give me insane players on here, but none of the higher rated strikers. Good valuation. There's still no striker highly rated. So finding a striker is proving difficult, and also I don't want to sign non-EU players. It creates problems with the registration, so I'm trying to avoid it if I possibly can. I'm not overly bothered by it, but that's an interesting one. Not sure I'd want him in there. I think he'd be annoying. But yeah, so we are looking at strikers. I'm looking at my shortlist here. There's a few players on the shortlist that could be a possibility. They signed, you got like someone like this, but again, it's the funds that are the problem. Munkuko is somebody that I've looked at, but I'm not sure how good he is on FM this year. The fee would be massive. We could try and do a loan deal for him, but they want an optional future fee and pay wages. It's just a very expensive deal. So getting a striker in is not easy. And it's not so much finding a striker. It's finding a striker and also finding a striker that we can afford. Because a lot of times we don't have the money to go and buy. So now, the one guy I would love to bring in, just for the narrative and the story of this series, is Martial. He wasn't Man United. Where is he? He was still there, Man United. Have they sold him? He was there. I'm sure he is still there. Yeah, he's not playing at Man United, but he's still a decent striker. But it's the wages that are the problem with him. The wages are the problem, and I think it'd be a really good sign. He wants massive wages. That's more reasonable. A loan deal would be doable, but I think they would not want. They'd want to have more wages paid than that. Yeah, they want 70 million. 70 million. They want, maybe up the optional fee to 3.5. Would they do that? A loan deal is what I want to try and do. It's just the wages are not quite there. So what I'll do is I'll submit that offer for a loan for Martial, and then hopefully the sale we're about to do for this guy will enable us to put a bit more money in the wage budget and we can bring him in. But what I will do if we do that deal is I will sell Ben Yedder. He'll be leaving in the summer. He's leaving in the summer regardless what happens. So there's a possibility that we could do a deal where we sell Ben Yedder now and bring Martial in right now. Let's try and do that right now. If we can sell him right now and get that wage off the wage budget, or they want rather than I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. That's the thing. I'm not surprised. But I'd love to get rid of Ben Yedder, and try and get his wages off the books. I thought I was gonna say it's takeover. We can still sell him. It's not an issue. We can still sell him. People want to sign. People want him. There's more offers came in before, so we're able to sell him. But I think getting Ben Yedder sold would be a highly. Yeah, you see, we can get that for him, but I don't want to throw the money away. Martial offer, we can't accept that. Well, okay, we can't accept that, but we'll try and do a deal for Martial. We'll try and do a deal for Martial. Hence about Singo wants a new contract. When did he last sign his contract? Okay, we'll give him a new contract. Wants a big wage increase. He's probably not going to accept this either. Yeah. So yeah, he's a good solid right back. He's doing really well. So yeah, it's all a case of getting one out to get a Martial in. The ideal scenario is that Ben Yedder gets sold and is interested in from Bournemouth. That'd be great. If we could sell Ben Yedder, he wants to leave. He's not going to decline in that right now. If we can sell, again, this never works, by the way. These never work. Yeah, these conversations never work. They never drop their opinion. Anyway, so that's what we're going to try and do. We're going to try and get Ben Yedder out, Martial in, and then we can hopefully we've got an alternate striker I'm having to play, because right now I'm playing Balogun way too much. Though he scores lots of goals, I'd like to rest him in games, but I can't take him off the pitch because no outlet. But if we're 3-0 up and it's half an hour to go, bring Martial on. And it gives half an hour break from Balogun, or in a game where I think maybe we can get away with it, and always a bit leggy, or God forbid he gets injured, Martial can come into the team. So, yeah, that's the plan. Just for the story narrative, it would be really funny and really interesting to bring him in. And the scout reports, he's not going to be a starting striker. He isn't. But I do feel like it makes sense to bring him in, and he's the most affordable striker there we can do. There's other strikers I'd like to bring in. Joffin Day would be great to bring in, but I don't think he's worth doing. I would rather bring in Martial at 29 years old on a decent fee. He's going to be around for a bit longer. It allows me then to go and bring a young striker through, maybe to replace him. It makes more sense to do that, in my opinion, than to go out and buy a player for like 30, 40 million who's going to be around for 3 or 4 seasons, assuming we keep our job, of course. So yeah, that's the current plan. So in terms of the dev centre, we have got a youth candidate youth intake preview. It's an excellent youth intake. It's a golden generation, though it's saying C's everywhere, which is interesting. So we'll see what happens. When that comes through in March, I will also do a reaction to that and show you it. I'll try and do it live. Last time I think it was kind of fortuitous that it actually happened during the middle of an episode, or right before an episode started. So what I usually do is I see the notification come through, I don't click on it, I don't look at it, I click on and then I start recording and say, this is, the youth intake that's come through, this is what we've got, this is what, the situation is. So yeah, everything's going surprisingly well. But I do feel like this squad is 1 or 2 injuries away from this all being a lot more complicated. I think this will happen. I think we'll get top 24. I think we'll get a point somewhere. I think we'll get a point. I think even if we don't get a point, I think we might get through by just definition of like we're so far clear. Everyone's got to be perfect below us, and I don't think they're going to be. All these guys have got to win both their games, and the reason they're down there is because they're not. So I think we'll do it, even by default. Leipzig away from home is the next fixture we have. But what I'll do, guys, because I can't show that game, or I can, but it'll be a massive ball fest because we're going to probably thrash them. So we'll do those 2 games off camera, back for Lyon and Shakhtar next episode tomorrow, and that will be the end of the league Champions League phase. And it could be potentially, can we get top 8 down to the final day, which would be fantastic if we can get that. Yeah, so we shall see if we can do it. If we can get to the last 16 automatically, I'll be absolutely stunned with that. I'll be absolutely amazed. But we shall see. So it could be a really fun episode where we try and beat Shakhtar to get top 8. Unless we obviously secure it with Leipzig, which I highly doubt because of the teams below us are quite good as well. So, right, guys, I'm gonna leave it there. Like I say, it's daily uploads when possible. I do try. Other than Sundays, obviously, there's work situations to deal with as well, and other channels that I make content on. But hopefully you guys are enjoying the series. I am as well. There's a poll on my channel about a certain player that we could sign that would fit a lot of the problems that we're having and sort a lot of problems out. I'm just not comfortable fully doing it without discussing it with you guys, and it's just you know who it is. It's in. If you go on the post on the community tab, it's there, the poll. A lot of people saying sign him. I don't know if I'm going to do it. I probably won't, but I just want to give you. I want to see what the other end thought is, and it seems to be right down the middle mostly. Maybe slightly in towards signing the player. The player, in case you're wondering, is he on my short list? Maybe not. Ooh, Kostic. Maybe not. That formation would be annoying. Where is he on here? Is he here? Not signing setbacks anymore. He was here. Anyway, you know who it is. You can probably look out who it is. So, guys, next episode back for Lyon and Shakhtar, and that'll be what we do next. And hopefully, we can get a really positive couple of results there. Lyon are actually not in a great season, so it's a game we could do winning. And again, we're not focused on the title right now. Obviously, we're in a title race at the moment, but PSG are fully capable of winning 4 games on the row at 7-0. The main thing is get clear of Nice in 4th and get the top 3 secured again and get through to the latest Champions League. That is what we're aiming for. We're building the club up. If we don't finish the ultimate aim in this series, meaning there's not a finality or conclusion to this by which I get sacked or achieve my main aim in Champions League, I might revisit this on next year's game. The problem with it is I've got another save idea I'd like to do on FM next year. But we shall see. Anyway, guys, if leave it on the screen there to show how the season's going. If you have enjoyed the episode, I hope it's a bit different. I know, no gameplay, but it gives you guys 2 days to catch up really on the series. Hit the like button down below in the description. Link to my EFC channel, my Overfoot Monitor channel, which is not going to be as uploaded regularly as this one because it takes long to make content on that channel. All that stuff. But yeah, thanks for watching, folks. I will see you next time, and bye bye.